so last week, we talked about 1 Samuel 17. I know some of you guys weren't there, and some of you guys, this is your first time here, which is cool. What's your name again, so everybody knows?
Maddie.
Maddie?
No. You
Just
can't
say
hear
Mad-
very good either.
I'm
You
sorry.
say Madeline whenever you're mad at her, or if you're just me.
Okay, do we have a middle name too I can use? Like, I'm just kidding. I'll mess it up. And say your name for everybody.
Kira.
Kiera.
Oh, no.
Caitlin's not here. I'm going by Kiki tonight.
Okay, so we have
Kiara.
Kiera,
Kiara.
Kiara, Kiera,
Kira. It's Kira and Kira.
Whatever, dude. There's like three of you. Okay.
And Kira,
Alright.
it's actually Kiara in the Lion King.
It's been.
Oh, it's Kiara in the Lion King.
So-
It's actually me.
Last week we went over. We talked about. I'm gonna jump through some verses and it's gonna be really quick, okay? Because I want to get to a certain point. Yes.
What chapter?
We're gonna start in 1 Samuel chapter 17. And we're gonna look at verse 4 first, right out the gate. And I'll tell you where we're going, okay? I'm just gonna read for a minute, all right? A champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out of the Philistine camp. He was over 9 feet tall, okay? Look, my ceiling's 8 feet, okay? So, my ceiling's 8 feet. So 9 feet tall is another foot past my ceiling. So if you take where I'm at, and look, that's a big man. That's a big man. First Samuel. This should be like right. Look at that. Bam. Did you see that? I just opened up his Bible to the spot. That's how you know. That's how you know you're in the Word.
I did that the other day with my notes. I the whole day I opened up to the right page right away. I was like, wow, what a coincidence.
It's in my head.
It's your notebook.
Yeah. That's how you know you're in the notebook. All right. So,
Never.
careful. Don't knock the camera down the stairs. All right. So Goliath stood and shouted out to the ranks of Israel, "Why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? And are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to fight me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." Then the Philistine said, "This day I defy the ranks of Israel." Okay, now that's God's people. That's God's chosen people, right? So he's basically saying he don't give a crap about God's people. Okay, that's what he's saying. I'm going to jump to 16, where it says, "For 40 days the Philistine came forward every morning and every evening and took his stand." Every morning and every evening he shouted out and basically called them a bunch of sissies. Okay? Yes.
What is God with 40 days? What is he about with that?
Well,
40 days and 40 nights with Noah. Wasn't there? Or
I will look that up and I'll give you more in depth. Because I have an answer, but I would rather give you a more in-depth answer. I'll know next time. Or you can text me or something. I don't know. But verse 29 says, "Now what have I done, said David, can I even speak?" He's talking to his brother. His oldest brother. Now see, David, if you remember, we left 16, right? And Jennifer just talked about the last time that we met, where David would play the harp every time that Saul felt tormented. So every time that Saul felt like crap, David would play the harp and he would be like all in the music. Okay? But David was going back and forth and he was working at he was basically tending his father's sheep and working for Saul at the same time. So when we get to verse 29, where I just read that, okay, right before that, his oldest brother was basically, he made a jealous remark where he says, "Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave those few sheep in the desert? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch this battle." If you see that right there, listen, you can tell right away that he's saying mean things, right? He's saying mean things on purpose. So, in verse 32, it says, "David said to Saul, 'Let no one lose your heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go fight him.' Saul replied, 'You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a boy, and he has been a fighting man from his youth.' But David said to Saul, 'Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it.'" Now, if we're all on the same page, he's talking about a lion and a bear, okay? "I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it." Let me say that one more time. Because I don't know if anybody really got that. A lion
interacted it. They really got it.
and a bear.
No, Mom, nobody
Okay.
understood this.
And he's,
I did.
and he's 15 years old at this time. Okay? He's 15 to 17. Somewhere in between those ages, because it's a long time ago, he's in between 15 and 17, and he's talking about how he went and killed a lion and a bear. Okay? But what I want you to really grasp is right here. He's defending himself. And he finishes in verse 36 with, "Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." Saul said to David, "Go and the Lord be with you." So let me tell you what just happened, okay? Because I know that scripture sometimes it's like trying to listen to, I don't know, a text message that's going.
Spanish teacher.
It's like listen, yeah, or it's like autocorrect. It's like halfway there, okay? So listen, this guy rolls up, right? He's like 15 to 17 years old, okay? So we're just gonna go. I'm gonna just say 15. Okay, he's 15 years old. He goes out to meet his brothers. The first thing his brother says to him when he sees him is he's a jerk. When he traveled all these miles to take his brother's son. He's a jerk, right? Then he tells Saul, "I'll fight him, I'll kill the giant." And what happens? Saul tells him, "You can't do it." Then he has to sit there. And he has to tell Saul, "Bro, I killed a lion and a bear. I can handle this Philistine." But see, I want you to realize, it wasn't just because the guy had a heart of a warrior or because of any other reason than one purpose. He had so much faith and so much love for what God wanted to do in his life that he just listened, he reacted, and he did what he was called to do. In the moments when he was told that he couldn't do it, he had already been through prayer and through warfare and through all these different battles that have got him to that moment. You know what? Tiffany, your parents going through a divorce? It might not. You know what? It sucks. And it doesn't feel good. It's hard. The rest of your life will never be the same. But guess what? It's not just your life. Everything that you build and you accomplish, your children get to see. You know what's part of the problem? Is people don't think generationally. My children are the only ones talking. People don't think generationally. My grandma, she died on December 1st. And my mom died on December 1st. 15 years apart. Son, can you go put those dogs outside?
No.
Thank you. My grandma, she was, as a young girl, people did things to her that were, I can't even imagine, okay? And with younger ears in here, I wouldn't dare even explain. But I can tell you that her heart, growing up, she was so bitter and she was so hateful. And then all of a sudden, God changed her life. All of a sudden, she changed generations. But what happened is, it wasn't done just through her children. It was done from me. It was done from her grandchildren. There is purpose in what you're supposed to do. And it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter. Each and every person in this room, if you were to go out and die today, I believe that you would stand before the Father, and it says, if you read in Revelations, you hear about how when you die, you in front of like this book, okay, and it's called the Book of Life. And when you ask Jesus into your heart, your name's put in that book. We went and watched a play on it, right? Called Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames.
Oh, that was a good play. It was scary. To you, it was.
Just because.
It is a little scary.
No, it isn't.
Just
It
the
is-
devil part.
Stop playing by the stairs, please. Listen, you hold account for yourself. That is how life works. You have to hold account for yourself, for your actions, for what you do. But you have to think further than just right now. You have to stop thinking about just tomorrow. What you have to do is you have to build habits. Do a daily devotional every single day. Read a little bit of Bible. If it's one verse, read the verse 5 times through the day. You know what? How about this one? Stop. Stop for 2 minutes. Just stop. Just shut your brain off for 2 minutes and say, God, da 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 da, and see what he says. Hey, most people don't know, but it's just a still small voice. It's just this, you can hear it. Close your eyes really quick. Close your eyes. Stop balancing for a second, because you're going to have to focus on this. Close your eyes. Forget about everybody else in the room. And I want you to say, Jesus, do you love me? Out loud. And listen to that it's going to sound like your brain is talking to you. Ooh, I heard yes. And I actually heard more yeses as you guys were asking. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Did you guys hear it? Did anybody hear it? Who didn't hear it?
I heard a creepy yes.
Look, and I believe.
And that's how you talk.
Yes, that's God's gonna speak to you in your language. I've had moments where I felt like God was like, "Shut up, dummy."
That's what my sister does to me every day.
Well, I mean,
Well, don't talk about each other and say like Macy go die in a hole or something.
That's what I say.
She does that too.
No, we don't.
You
No,
know,
I do. No.
I'm like go die in a hole.
This got way off topic in like 2 seconds.
yes, it wasn't even clear.
This is why I'm not even on your team.
Anyway, pay attention.
Anyways, what I want you to realize, okay, is you empower yourself. You empower yourself by what you give every single day. I'll challenge you. Wake up every day. If you have Alexa, tell her to play Elevation Worship or Bethel Worship. Just look up a song. Just look at those are my 2 favorites: Elevation Worship and Bethel Worship. Always playing in our house. We put them on every morning. I put them on not just because I put them on because I need it. If not, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna punch someone in the face.
I don't like being talked to right away in the morning. I like
Yes.
That's where
a
you get
little
that from?
quiet.
Yes.
And so, and I have other people in the house that are the exact opposite. And so the music, it sets the tone in the house, but also sets the tone in my mind and my heart to not be like, stop talking to me, I need to wake up, that kind of stuff. Because otherwise I would. I'd be snappy, answering questions really quickly, and be like walking around all wacky. But when I have my heart right through worship or through music, like that sets me happier, it sets my heart right, then I know that my mood is going to alter and be right. That make sense?
I need to advise that to my mom.
See, well, the thing is you can set it. You can set the tone. You can start worship. You can play it right off your phone, or hook it up to a Bluetooth speaker and just start worship playing in the house. I'm telling you, some of you don't realize what it would take if you just went around and prayed in your house, out loud. I'm telling you, you have to be bold. You have to be bold. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I do not care. They can think I'm crazy. They can think I'm a psychopath. They can do whatever they want. You know what? I might be all those things. I left beautiful California with my wife to go fight in a war because I felt like God said to do it. We stayed in North Carolina because I felt like God said to do it. I quit my job at Bubba's because I felt like God said to do it. I started working.
He said,
there's all these steps in my life that I've taken just because I listened. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. I know it's hard. I've been there. I was a lot younger than you. I was in 3rd grade, and then I found out my parents were drug addicts after that. And then I was Josiah's age, and I had to take care of my little sister who was about 3 years younger than me because my parents had disappeared. So I know your situation's not the same, and you have 2 awesome parents. But every single one of us is going through something different. You can wake up tomorrow, and you can fake it all over again. Or you could wake up tomorrow and leave this house tonight and realize that when I say the firehouse, that's because this is the house of God. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm on fire. And I ain't going nowhere. I believe that what we're doing right here is going to grow way beyond what you guys even see right now with, well, I think this is most people we've had in this room. No? We're close. But at the same time, some people are going to come and some people are going to go. They don't get it. They won't get it. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. That was like perfect timing. I was getting ready to close. On the real though, on the real, challenge yourself. Take a couple minutes each day. Make sure you find, if you don't have Jennifer's number and you don't have Brianna's number, or you know, if you don't have somebody that you can connect to, I have to tell you guys, I'm bringing leaders in here, people that you guys can connect to that are in their early 20s, people that have just went through, are still on the, they're just younger than us. People that you can talk to about your stuff. That's not just us. But I'm telling you, if you don't challenge yourself, you're gonna miss out.